In this tutorial I am going to show you how to create a spawn safe room that will lead into a safe house. And between those 2 points, once you get to the safe house, I will show you how you are able to create a level change into a new map. This is perfect for a campaign that you're creating, and it's a bit advanced, and there's a lot of steps. So I'm gonna take my time and explain everything step by step. So in the previous tutorial, we inserted all the standard elements into our map, like AI director, a file controller, all the weapons, and player starts. And now you need a room where your players will start your map and they will spawn from. So you want to have only one exit out of this room. So things like this need to be closed off. So let me do that now. I'm gonna close this off. So now I have this doorway which we will insert our exit door in. So go into your entity and you want to type in prop door rotating checkpoint. Put it right where the door is going to be. So we're going to do a couple of things to this. Double click, and then here, number 1, you want to name it. We're going to name this checkpoint underscore exit. Then under world model, click browse and type in checkpoint. And you want to insert the door that's called checkpoint door 01. Double click. Now there's a few other things that we need to change. Under body, you want to change that to 1. Then scroll a little bit down and look for spawn position. That should stay closed. Click apply. Now we need to position our door into the doorway. So let me go into the top view. And position it right into our door. You might have to reposition some of your brushes. My door fits relatively good with no gaps, and looking good. Let me check this side. Yep, it's pretty good. Now another thing you want to keep in mind is once you position your door, the exit sign needs to face inside where your players will start. So once you start, you need to see the exit, because the players won't be able to open it. So let's take this door and rotate it and reposition. Okay, now we have this in and working. Next thing, before we leave and create a safe house door, we need to create an info landmark into this room. So click on the entity, type in info landmark. This will tell, we're going to set this up later for ability to change levels. So we need to know that we need to insert it into a level, kind of position it relatively high, where the light is, a little bit closer to the ceiling. Double click on it and you want to name this. Name it landmark A. So basically on every map you're going to have 2 landmarks. The beginning landmark, where your players spawn from, and the safe house landmark. So if this is our first map, this is going to be landmark A, and the safe house landmark is going to be landmark B. And then we're going to continue on into the next map. It's going to be landmark B that our players will spawn, and then you're going to set the safe house on the second map to a landmark C, and so on and so on. For our second door, for the safe house, I created a little room where our characters will have to get through, and 2. So we pretty much gonna do very same thing with a few additional parameters, a few additional brushes and entities in here. Have your doorway blocked out. The entity is prop door rotating checkpoint. So type in prop door rotating checkpoint. Put that in there. Double click, and now we just have to make sure that a few things are few inputs are in here. You want to name this checkpoint entrance. Point underscore entrance. For world model, click browse, and you want to select checkpoint door 2. Click apply. For body, stays at 0, and spawn position open forward. So scroll down, you're gonna see spawn position. Use the drop down menu, and you wanna select it open clockwise or open counterclockwise, which will kind of depend on your map. So let's position our door, and then we'll see which way it's gonna open. Let me rotate it. So the thing to keep in mind, so you know which way it's going to open, is the door. This door has to be facing you as you're approaching it. It cannot be on the inside. So this has to be out to the players. Now there's a few more things that we need to put. We need info landmark to be inside this inside this room. And you want to put it right inside the room, closer to the ceiling. Double click, and you want to name this landmark B. Apply. Then we want to have a triggered change level entity in here, and the way you create that is you have to create a brush inside, and that will tie it to an entity. So I'm going to use one of these brushes to kind of block it in. And one thing you want to make sure when you create this brush, that it has to touch the floor in some way. It doesn't have to intersect it, but it should definitely touch the floor. Raise this up a bit more, and it looks like it's right on the door and it's going to touch the floor. So that's what I want. So now get in here, I need a no draw texture right on it. So I'm going to just grab a texture from one of these brushes that I had and apply it to the entire brush. So now I click on it and I press Ctrl T. What you want to select under class is trigger change level. Trigger change level. Click apply. In here inside the object properties, trigger change level, two things you need to be aware of and change. New map name is the map that it will change to. Landmark name is the landmark that we put inside the level. Name landmark B. And it has to be on top of the room. So, new map name, landmark B.